The Gambia's Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission continued to hear testimonies from victims and witnesses on the 2005 massacre of more than 50 West African migrants. The 2005 event is described as the largest loss of life during the rule of former President Yahya Jammeh. We have more of that in this report.
As the Truth Commission continues its hearings, witnesses and victims continue to narrate their stories regarding the massacre of more than 50 African migrants who were captured and killed by state agents in the Gambia. Today, the Alcalo of Ghana Town appeared before the commission to explain what he knows about the West African migrants. He said the first person was brought to him by youth of the community and was told that the person was asking about the Ghanaians living there. He said he then called the elders in the village and informed them about the visitor. When asked if he understood the language that he was speaking, the witness said yes. He told the commission that the victim told them that they were a group and they took a boat from Senegal to the Gambia where they were to take a ship to continue their journey.
Somebody pick up it told more tang you will pick up he said when the pickup came, 10 of them were told to board that pickup. So the pickup took away 10 of them at that in the first trip. He said they were taken there, it was at night, but he can see that that area was close to the forest. In fact, it was in the forest. Being he said when they reached that forest, they started taking them away in two by two. They will come and pick up two and go away with them. And go along with them, those two people will not return.
The witness also narrated how the police came to his house and was asked to identify 8 corpses that were seen in the bush.
So after the discussion with them, there were Ghanaians there. They also have Ghanaian executive members there. Chairman or call. We called the chairman
of the Ghanaian Community Executive.
Ghanaian Community Executive. Yes, the Ghanaian Executive Committee. We called their chairman. Ghana Town Community more identified Jebang. So when I reached the station, they told me that they found 8 corpses around the bush. So they want me to go there and look at them, whether I will recognize any one of them in the bush. In the bush, if I will recognize any of them being somebody from Ghana Town.
Did you go with them?
You need that level. So I went around with the policemen. Ani modo de barintel mo wala bari police you will need data inwala. We went around with the policeman plus some people, and I don't know those people, but we went along, including the police. Then we went around to inspect these corpses.
On July 22, 2005, Gambia security forces arrested the migrants who were bound for Europe after their boat landed in the Gambia on suspicion of involvement in a coup attempt. The families of more than 50 Ghanaians and other West African migrants killed in the Gambia have yet to learn the full truth and obtain justice concerning the massacre. There has been a growing evidence that the murders were carried out by state agents from the Gambia security forces who were said to have been acting on the orders of the then President Yahya Jammeh. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, Binti Jallow.
The Truth Commission today hosted the Alcalo of Ghana Town to give testimony on the execution of the 2005 West African migrants. Now, a young Nigerian farmer has become an inspiration to many young Nigerians for his success story in onion farming shortly after completing his school in 2015. Nigeria is the largest producer of onions in sub-Saharan Africa, and authorities are devising measures to widen its exploitation in the continent and beyond. Despite the gains they made in the agricultural sector, farmers are still faced with security challenges. Details in this report.
Benjamin Bilyaminu owns this 5-hectare onion farm in Nigeria's northeastern state of Bauchi. Fresh and out of school in 2015, Benjamin was looking to explore opportunities in agriculture and started on a 1-hectare farmland. He has since expanded, offering jobs to many youths and raking in an annual income of nearly $15,000.
And I started the onion farm very just simple as a, coming up youth with a mind to go into agriculture. I just ventured into it with a very small start. In the year 2015, after I plant the onions, and it gave me very good results. So after the result, I've seen that yes, onions is something that I can fully go into. Onion is our new oil in Nigeria. We employ even the graduate to our farms, and people from different parts of the nation call us to supply them with these onions.
But there are greater prospects for onion farmers like Benjamin, with a new draft document that will expand onion exportation from Nigeria to other African countries.
You go to Sokoto, Kebbi now, you go to Sokoto, you will see a day, they will load almost 100 trailers to Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. I don't understand. You go to Kano, the same thing. Every day, any village where they produce this onions, you will see buyer there.
Nigeria is the largest producer of onions in sub-Saharan Africa and the 6th largest in the world. The country produces 1.4 million tons of onions annually out of the 2.5 million tons demanded in West Africa. So government's been making efforts to close the gap and boost export capacity.
Basically, what we need to do is to improve the production capacity of these farmers. And the way we can improve production capacity of these farmers is by giving them access to credit, access to finance. This will help them to even expand their farms. We also need to improve our extension service for us to also improve on their technical know-how in terms of production and even storage. We need to make these farmers form a cooperative, form a farm estate, to take them from being subsistence to even mechanized farming. And doing all of these things, it will improve production, even double their production, which will be enough for internal demand and even external exports.
Despite the success in the agricultural subsector, farmers like Benjamin are still contending with issues of insecurity and weak infrastructure. They want government to ramp up support so the nation can cash in on the gains.
The Interior Minister Yankuba Sonko testified on the issue of Chief Ibrahim Mane on Tuesday at the Truth Commission. Yankuba Sonko says the information he made on Chief Mane's disappearance to America in 2004 was a false statement. And as far as he is concerned now, Amindao has the rest of that story in this report.
As the Truth Commission continues its hearings, witnesses and victims continue to narrate their stories regarding the massacre of more than 50 African migrants who were captured and killed by state agents in the Gambia.
Chief Ibrahim Mane was a Gambian journalist at the pro-government Daily Observer, who was arrested in July 2006 and secretly held in custody. The Minister of Interior testified at the Truth Commission on Tuesday and says he could not find a report or file about Chief Mane when he was an Inspector General of Police in 2010.
When I received a query from Amnesty International, I searched for a report on Chief Mane. I couldn't see anything.
Why couldn't you see anything?
I don't know where to start because I don't know where I'm doing matter.
When did you become IGP?
2010. After 4 years.
So after 4 or 5 years, the police had no file on him.
I could not see any file on him.
Isn't that also surprising?
Surprising.
The witness further tells the commission that he later called the CID officers to trace the file of Chief Mani when reports started coming in heavily. Mr. Sonko says he accepts making a false statement to a then local newspaper on Chief Mani's presence in the United States as far as he knows now.
I have no doubt to doubt the American information that this man has transited in that area. And that made me to believe. Because if he had not gone to America at that time, they would not have reason. Because Canada responded negative, all other countries said
But you are missing the point. We have accepted that you are reckless in your statement.
Yes, if you say that, I will agree.
Okay, but why do you accept that you are reckless? Because there is some other information out there which you did not consider.
Yes.
Okay, but that information out there shows that the statement you made was false.
But it was not forthcoming at that time.
Whether you know it or not.
That's why I said, as far as I know now.
Yes, okay. As far as you know now, the statement you made was false.
No. Yes, as far as that statement is false.
Okay. Chief Ibrahim Mani was arrested at his office by two plainclothes officers of the National Intelligence Agency in 2004. The reason for Mani's arrest was unclear. 11 years after his arrest, conflicting details emerged about Mani's whereabouts and health. The Gambia Police Force in February 2017 informed Mani's family that the journalist had died. For iAfrica News, Amin Dao.
From the reports by Amin Dao, we will go with a short commercial break and the news continues. Stay tuned.
Gambia may be the smallest country in Africa, but it will host the second largest gathering of world leaders in 2022. To successfully host the OIC Summit and put the Gambia on the global stage, the government of the Gambia set up OIC Gambia to mobilize resources for the implementation of key development and infrastructure projects on a scale never seen before. 20 new roads will be constructed across the country, and the Bertel Harding Highway will be expanded into a dual carriage highway of 2 lanes on each side from the airport to Sting Corner. All people in the Gambia deserve clean water and a constant flow of electricity. Therefore, an entirely new water system will be constructed, including new transmission and distribution networks to meet the increasing demand. In order to provide a more reliable supply of electricity, the OIC Gambia project will replace and double the capacity of the NAWEC transformers and overhead electric cables. We will equip the police with modern apparatus and technical training in an effort to keep the streets of the Gambia safe. By building the largest international conference center in the region, a 5-star hotel with state-of-the-art facilities, first-class mobility services, and improving the VVIP experience at the Banjul International Airport, OIC Gambia will position the Gambia as the leading conference destination in West Africa. With our partners in the tourism sector, we will reinforce the preeminent position of our nation, the Smiling Coast, as a go-to destination. The OIC Gambia will create strategic partnerships that calls for the involvement of local talent and businesses as a matter of requirement. In short, OIC Gambia projects will create jobs, boost commerce, accelerate growth, improve the urban outlook and lifestyles of many families across the Gambia. So let's support the OIC Gambia as it prepares us for one of the biggest global events. OIC Gambia, building today for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is The World Today, and to the rest of our stories. A Tunisian telecom company, Telnet, is set for a landmark breakthrough in the technology industry by launching the country's first satellite from Kazakhstan. The country's president applauded the young engineers for their remarkable achievement after visiting the company ahead of the launching. The Telnet company, a few months ago, also unveiled its first drone that could be used in agriculture and other activities. Details in this report.
It's all hands-on tech at Tunisia's aerospace and telecommunications company Telnet that is developing the country's first satellite, known as Challenge 1. Telnet entered an agreement with a Russian operator for the launch that is set to be a precursor for a constellation of 30 satellites to be launched in the next 2 years. Ahead of the launch, Tunisian President Kais Saied praised the company's young engineers for executing the landmark project.
These young people are a source of pride for Tunisia and its true wealth. Well done. I wish you success, determination, and self-confidence.
The satellite is scheduled to be launched by Globcosmos Launch Services on board Soyuz 2 from Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Its launch will mark a turning point for Telnet's Group CEO Mohammed Frikha. The entrepreneur has invested millions of dollars in research and development in the company, which he founded in 1994, and trained and also hired hundreds of engineers.
We have been honored by the visit of our president in Telnet Technocentre. The president encouraged the young people to work in the new technology to make Tunisia as a lead in the technology in Africa and in the Arab world.
Telnet Group delivered the satellite to the Russian company JK Launch Services. According to Telnet CEO, the Russian company will still carry out its own launch tests, including a virtual launch process, testing the ability of the satellite to be launched into space safely and its ability to take its orbit around the globe.
We have done the 13th of February the official delivery of our satellite Challenge 1 to the Russian Agency of Space, Roscosmos, at Moscow. And now we are preparing the launch of this satellite by Soyuz 2 from Baikonur, and this will be on the 20th of March, the celebration of the 65th anniversary of Tunisian independence. It's an historic date for us.
A few months ago, Telnet Group unveiled its first Tunisian drone to be used in agriculture and other domains. The drone could monitor crops and livestock, as well as ensure rescue operations during floods. The drone was designed to meet the needs of the Tunisian and African markets. President Kais Saied described the satellite as a gift to the Tunisian people, especially to the founders of the State of Independence, Youth and Revolution. The success of the satellite project has paved the way for Telnet Group to become one of the main leaders in innovation and technology in the region.
Tunisia is set to launch its first satellite, and still on the global front, many economies around the world, including South Africa's economy, has been adversely hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. South Africa's GDP has dropped by 7% in 2020, and the country's economy has been struggling well before the advent of the coronavirus. South Africa has witnessed a gradual improve of its economy as economic activities resume after the lockdown, but some economists believe more need to be done to salvage the situation.
South Africa, like most countries across the globe, suffered a massive blow to economic growth in 2020, but the country was already in a recession when COVID hit.
The truth of the matter is South Africa has been in a declining phase for over the last decade or so. So while we sort of see this positive, uptick in growth, at the end of the day, it's sort of resetting what was previous losses in the years to come, years before. So if you look at it in sort of that aspect, it's important to sort of keep looking ahead and get the right sort of structural transformations in place so we can actually look more towards a positive trajectory rather than just sort of recouping previous losses.
Annualized GDP rose 6.3% in the fourth quarter of 2020. 8 of the main sectors of the economy recorded growth. Manufacturing recorded a 21.1% gain, the largest contributor to GDP. Some economists agree this is an improved performance, but it's coming off a low base.
In 2019, the economy only grew by 0.9%. The previous year, you see considerably 1.5, 1.7 projections versus expectations. So you're finding that South Africa has really had a lackluster growth over the last few years, and this is not simply a COVID issue. And I think just to stress that the positive growth that we have had even before COVID wasn't sufficient in terms of quantum and in terms of rate of growth.
Finance declined slightly while mining slumped 1.4%. Household expenditure increased by 7.5% as consumers started spending again.
The average South African consumer is under severe pressure at the moment. So there's always this uncertainty that do we still have that previous sort of spending power, though I'm going to forecast, just to bear in mind that we're at a record level high unemployment figures at the moment and that the economy has still not fully recovered. So whilst we do see this rebound in expenditure, it will sort of be muted throughout 2021, given that the general pressure that households are under at the moment, and considering the fact that we are not out of the woods yet,
The gains that we're seeing in these GDP numbers are largely as a result of economic activity resuming following the hard lockdown. South Africa still faces the massive challenges it had before COVID. Economists believe that only once these issues are dealt with will we see any real growth in South Africa.
We are sitting at the worst annual fall of GDP since 1946. There's nothing to celebrate. What we can hope for is that this will show our policymakers and our economic cluster that we need an alternative. And I think that the data is telling us this. Regardless of ideological framework, quite clearly the development growth path that we're on is unsustainable. I think it's an opportunity for us to accept that whatever we have tried to do hasn't worked. And I think it's time for us to go back to the drawing board.
That was all on the world today. Gambia 24 is up next with Mariama Cham at 19:30 GMT. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
May be the smallest country in Africa, but it will host the second largest gathering of world leaders in 2022. To successfully host the OIC Summit and put the Gambia on the global stage, the government of the Gambia set up OIC Gambia to mobilize resources for the implementation of key development and infrastructure projects on a scale never seen before. 20 new roads will be constructed across the country, and the Bertel Harding Highway will be expanded into a dual carriage highway of 2 lanes on each side from the airport to Sting Corner. All people in the Gambia deserve clean water and a constant flow of electricity. Therefore, an entirely new water system will be constructed, including new transmission and distribution networks to meet the increasing demand. In order to provide a more reliable supply of electricity, the OIC Gambia project will replace and double the capacity of the NAWEC transformers and overhead electric cables. We will equip the police with modern apparatus and technical training in an effort to keep the streets of the Gambia safe. By building the largest international conference center in the region, a 5-star hotel with state-of-the-art facilities, first-class mobility services, and improving the VVIP experience at the Banjul International Airport, OIC Gambia will position the Gambia as the leading conference destination in West Africa. With our partners in the tourism sector, we will reinforce the preeminent position of our nation, the Smiling Coast, as a go-to destination. The OIC Gambia will create strategic partnerships that calls for the involvement of local talent and businesses as a matter of requirement. In short, OIC Gambia projects will create jobs, boost commerce, accelerate growth, improve the urban outlook and lifestyles of many families across the Gambia. So let's support the OIC Gambia as it prepares us for one of the biggest global events. OIC Gambia, building today for a better tomorrow.
Like other education or specialized training institutes in the Gambia, SNS Institute of Creative Design offers opportunities to fashion designers without prior training or certificates, shaping the next generation of fashion designers creating timeless designs by sketching out, creating, and merchandising clothing items and accessories. Fashion design graduates can go on to find employment in different institutions that are looking for designers. Graduates who wish to start their own business also stand a better chance of doing so with specialized training and certification. This institution does not just train and certify fashion designers, but offers career guidance, including job application and interview preparation to its graduates. Are you one of those who believe that taking the back way is the only way to success? Head over to wakawell.info/Gambia to find out more about safe migration procedures and local opportunities for education, employment, and entrepreneurship in the Gambia.
They say we slept in one world and woke up in another. This global tragedy got humans together despite our social distancing. Our nature is taking a break. And giving us a wake-up call on what and who truly matters. Look around you. Hold on. Breathe. Count your blessings. Take time for self-renewal. for a better start tomorrow. Soon, life will be back. Meanwhile, let's stand apart together with one heart.
bu dee da ngay ut ay bunta maanaam xarañ lool ci IT ak management ndax xam nga ne jàngukaay yu bari ñu ngi fii ci biir Gambia yu mel ni Suna Institute of Science and Technology, Kamsis Technology, Insight Training Center ak Sebec College yuy jàngale xam-xami technology ak management mën ngaa gën a yokk sa xam-xam ci